What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Roo.
Welcome to Couch and the Roo, presented as always by Pure Options Precision Crafted Cannabis. We are just days away from the Pure Options block party, their Frandor location. 2 Chainz performing, the Maryland-Michigan State game on the big screen, food trucks, all sorts of cannabis dealers. Just a great place to tailgate, enjoy the afternoon. Should be a beautiful day. Go to pureoptions.com to get tickets. You can get buy one, get one free with the promo code BOGO, B-O-G-O, for $20. So $20, get 2 of you and a friend. Enjoy the afternoon. There are VIP tickets available for $200 as well. Should be a fantastic afternoon. And our Wednesday afternoon show presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Speaking of great places near Frandor, just down the road. Before, after you go to the Pure Options block party, swing by Front 43 and Cask & Company. Great place to watch the games. I was just there last week with Matt Mancarini watching football, losing money, making my bets. It's an awesome time. Love their beer selection. As always, the Big Island Bowl is my favorite sushi bowl they have there. The pad thai, the burgers. They do everything really, really well. Unbelievable setup at both places, Cask & Company and Front 43 to watch games. Jason, how you doing, brother?
What's up, buddy? I don't know. I just can't wait for this show to get over because I can't wait for Sunday. I want Sunday to be here like tomorrow for the Lions. God dang.
I think we're all excited for the NFL. I'm excited for Thursday night. It was last year the Lions opened on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool, that Kansas City game that sort of changed the vibe.
Sunday night football is going to be fun too, right?
I'm just saying the Kansas City-Baltimore game I'm excited about. We're going to pick all of them with Harry here in a little bit, including the college games, NFL games, full slate. We will have a Couch in the Roo Pick'em contest, which will begin this week. Those games will go out as well. It's going to be hopefully Eric Schultz is ready.
Yeah. I was about to say, did you ask Eric first?
He's got like a growing family. He doesn't have time for this shit anymore. But we'll get it done one way or another. Looking forward to that. Before we get to all of that, we're going to talk with Ed Lee here in a second from the Baltimore Sun. He's the Maryland beat writer. See if we can get a sense of Michigan State's opponent and who this Maryland program is. Maryland's one of those teams that everybody views as a toss-up game, and then you look at their first score and you look at how seasoned the program is and the weapons they have, and I don't know where MSU is right now, if it's actually what I would consider a toss-up game. Mike Loxley's been there several years now, and he talked this week about Michigan State, about understanding where Michigan State's program was. And so that is, to me, a big question. Is Michigan State in a similar plane talent-wise with Maryland? And so to do that, we'll bring in Ed Lee.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not
did
there?
not answer, no.
Oh, well, that's not great. That's not a great start. Hey, jeez. I was looking for the thumbs up. I was trying to.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jeez. All right. Well, let me text Ed.
I'll try him again.
Yeah. You give him one more ring if you would. While he does that, a reminder: Pure Options. If you've never been, I'm telling you right now, you will like the vibe. We've talked about that before. Clean. They will guide you through your cannabis questions and needs. Like if you're either a newbie or somebody who just is curious about it, if you're cannabis curious, Pure Options is absolutely here for you. And hopefully we'll talk some Maryland football here with Ed. Do we have Ed?
Nope. You might want to text him.
All right. Sounds great. All right. Well, let's take a really quick break, and we will try to get a hold of Ed. Couch in the Roo, presented by Pure Options Precision Crafted Cannabis and Front 43 and Cask & Company.
Hey, sports fans, are you tired of the same old routine? Looking for a way to unwind after a long day? Look no further than Pure Options, the premier destination for all of your cannabis needs in Lansing, Detroit, Muskegon, and Mount Pleasant. Whether you're cheering for the Lions, Spartans, or the Wolverines, Pure Options has everything you need to elevate your game day experience. Mention Couch the Rube when you visit Pure Options and get a Pro Grow eighth with a $50 purchase. It's our way of saying thank you for being a loyal listener. Swing by Pure Options today and elevate your cannabis experience to a whole new level. Firekeeper's Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. Two amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing.
Find Couch and the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite, Podcast Addict.
Couch and the Rube, presented by Pure Options, Precision Crafted Cannabis, and our Wednesday show, brought to you by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. We now have Ed with us. Jason and I had a miscommunication. Jason got the wrong number. He rubed it, and I'm going to blame him.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm going to blame him.
Okay. Gave me the wrong number, bro.
I didn't give you the wrong number. But we're very pleased now to have Ed Lee from the Baltimore Sun on with us. Ed, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, guys. How are you?
I'm doing well, So I want to try to get a sense of this Maryland team a little bit. Every year, it looks like, is this the year they sort of turn the corner? And it's been a couple years now. They've been pretty solid. How seasoned is this program? How much do you trust this team?
That's kind of been a $1 million question, like whether this team is better than last year's team. And, on paper, it's hard to say that because they did lose the Big Ten all-time leading passer in Kalia Tagovailoa. And so they did, obviously they replaced him with Billy Edwards Jr., and he had the strong start this past Saturday against UConn. But, this is also a team that lost a number of offensive linemen and wide receivers on offense. They do bring back more guys on defense, but they did lose 3 of their 4 starters in the secondary. So, the question about whether they've turned the corner, fans always asking, like, is this the time to sort of rally around this team? I think this team will probably be maybe as good as they were last year, but it's hard for me to project that they're going to be even better than they were last year.
The quarterback situation, it was something, it was unclear until the opener, and I read everything about it. I saw a little of the game. Billy Edwards Jr. looked impressive. Were you surprised he was the starter? And what did you think of his first start?
I wasn't surprised that he was a starter, simply because I think he has more familiarity with this offensive system, considering he's been here now this is his 3rd year, whereas M.J. Morris, the transfer from North Carolina State, had to pick it up, and so he was kind of behind the 8 ball in that respect. Was I surprised at his performance? Slightly, because his reputation coming in was that he was more of a mobile quarterback. He came in a lot of short yardage, goal line situations, and we didn't really see him pass the ball because he didn't have to. And then in the Music City Bowl game last December, his passing was not that sharp. You could tell that he could run the ball. He was good at when it came to RPOs, but it didn't seem like he had the accuracy or the confidence when it came to throwing the ball. That all changed, Saturday against UConn. I noted in my article that he settled for mostly short and intermediate range throws. But when he did those, he really was accurate, and it looked like he had a really comfort level with what he was looking for, what he wanted to do. I'd be curious to see, like, if he faces a defense that says, okay, we're going to test you. You got to throw it over the top. But for at least 1 week, I think he answered a lot of the questions.
Maryland's been a place for a long time that's had playmakers, and Ty Felton certainly looks, is one of those. What, in terms of how dangerous and equipped this team is, and they've obviously got experience in the backfield, like where is the strength of this offense, do you feel?
One of the things that Mike Locksley pointed out is that this running game is something that they need to return to. They kind of got away from it last year just because they had Tagovailoa and how good he was at passing the ball, and kind of the players they had as receivers and tight end. But Mike has said repeatedly this preseason they need to return to the running game. And, they have a trio of talented running backs. The starter is Roman Hemby, who's been around for now. This is his third year as a starter. He's a very good running back. Colby McDonald was a solid backup last year, a guy who would come in and do well in those short yardage situations. And then they had a redshirt freshman by the name of Nolan Ray, who has played sporadically. He was injured most of last year, and then he came out on Saturday, and his first touch was a 48-yard touchdown run. So the running backs, I think, are going to be key, especially for when you have a new quarterback who's learning the ropes. And if you can run the ball, that would certainly take a lot of pressure off of him. However, I will say that you mentioned Ty Felton. There's Caden Prather. You have two talented wide receivers on the outside, as well as either Octavian Smith Jr. or Shalik Knox, guys who can run from the slot. So they do have weapons on the outside that they probably can take advantage of and should take advantage of.
They obviously shut down UConn for the most part. I think it was a couple plays that kind of got away from them. But it's hard to tell what UConn is. Is that a competitive football team at all? Like, what's your assessment of the defense?
Like you said, it's hard to tell because UConn's offense, they struggled, to really gain much yardage. I think I noted in my article that they didn't really cross midfield until I think it was the middle or latter part of the second quarter. Their quarterback play was suspect. There were a couple times when the quarterback ran out of the pocket and he had receivers downfield, but he missed them. He either threw the ball behind them or overthrew them in total. And a couple times, at least twice I can remember, two receivers just dropped the ball. That would have been first down. So, yes, the defense played well. They only gave up 7 points, and that was a miscommunication. But, that was UConn. Like, you're talking about a Michigan State offense that looked impressive on the ground on Saturday against Florida Atlantic. And this is going to be a much better team, much better trained offense, in terms of what they want to do and their game planning. And so I think this will be a much tougher test for this Maryland defense.
What's your sense? If you had to, you've seen Maryland play in multiple years for a long time, I'm wondering what your sense is of what you think you'll see from them, not just this week, but sort of as they face Big Ten competition based on what you saw in week one.
Yeah, so last year, they got up to, I think it was a 5-0 start. And everyone around here was ecstatic, thinking, okay, this is the year that Maryland turns the program around. And, this came on the heels of Michael Locksley saying at the Big Ten Media Day that, he thought that this team was ready to contend for a conference championship. And then I think they lost four or five of their next 5 games. It's really kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team because we just don't know how good they are. They have the potential. On paper, they look good. And, their schedule is favorable for the first 6 or 7 games until they get to that game against USC. So we could be looking at them being possibly, 6-0, 7-0. But can they sustain that? And inevitably, I think what many people around here have sort of become accustomed to is that Maryland might face a team, particularly in the Big Ten, that they're favored to beat and then come out with a dud and lose. I remember last year, I think that was Illinois, which kind of started that losing streak where they lost 4 or 5. That was the one, and then they also lost to, I believe, Northwestern. So, those are key games that you just can't afford to drop in the conference if you're going to try to say that you've turned the corner, that you can challenge, or I guess their new phrase now is kind of upset the status quo. So if they're really going to believe that, They need to show that on the field. And Mike has mentioned that. He has said that, they can talk all they want, but they need to produce on the field.
Yeah, I'd argue this is a big week for them. They got a Michigan State team that's got 61 new players and doesn't look lights out offensively coming into your house. Like, this is one of those weeks that if you're going to have a year, you got to probably get it. Ed, I appreciate the time. Look forward to seeing you in the press box this weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks again. That's
Ed Lee from the Baltimore Sun with some good perspective on who this Maryland team is. For them, like, they can't lose this game. For Michigan State, I don't think people are hopeful, but I don't think they're expecting them to win. If you're Maryland, you can't drop it to a Michigan State team going through a transition at home on week 2. I know you've got a new quarterback and you've got some new pieces here and there, but you've got some experience at receiver, you got playmakers, you got experience at running back. You gotta win this game if you're Maryland.
Yeah, but if you're Michigan State, though, you have to come out and show that you're competent. And the FAU game was just maybe a little blip there, right? I mean, especially with the offense. I like the defense a little bit, but the offense has to show me Aiden Childs let's see some good throws. Let's see some throws to the tight end.
There's lots Michigan State has to show. I'm just saying, like, from a Maryland perspective, yeah, it's a great opportunity for Michigan State. But if Michigan State loses this game, I don't think many people will think less of Michigan State than they do today, right? Like, I don't think Michigan.
But if the offense looks really, really bad, though, again, I don't know.
People will be frustrated. People will be like, shoot, this isn't getting any better. But I don't think they'll think less of it. I think there's right. But even the offense could play better, and they could lose this game. The defense could still be okay, and they could lose this game. Maryland could be a pretty good team. It's on the road. It's week 2. Everybody's high on life, so to speak.
Well, it's hard to get to gauge anything from the Maryland team. The Connecticut was just god-awful. And I think they're going to be god. We might have to bet against Connecticut this year. They were that bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, they were not. It was not a. It did not look impressive. The bits I saw of the game, they didn't look like a competitive team that was going to be in for the fight this year. Look, this is a game. This is a week that you're going to find out a lot about a lot of teams on Michigan State's schedule, because part of Michigan State's schedule is, or part of Michigan State's season is not just itself, but it's who it's playing, right? I mean, and everybody that played other than Prairie View A&M won last week. All 10 opponents they still have to face. They outscored them like 390 to 60 or something like that combined. But 5 of those were against FCS opponents, lower level opponents. And really the eye-opening games were, to me, what Boston College did to Florida State Monday night, which I think is, a little telling of a game that's going to be a tough slog for Michigan State in 2 weeks.
That's got to suck to be a Florida State fan, though.
Oh, man.
0-2 to start your season's over, and it's not even September.
After last year getting left out of the playoff, like, what's the point? And after you talked all this trash about how the ACC was, you were too good for the ACC, and then Georgia Tech and Boston College kick your ass in the first 2 weeks. I
got to say, I felt bad for Mike Norvell.
I did not.
I'm just saying, the close-up on him is just like, oh, shit.
The problem is you represent a program that talked a lot of shit, that brought some arrogance with it. I felt bad for them last November. I did not, or last December, I should say, during the playoff selection committee. I didn't feel bad for them the way they behaved.
I didn't say for very long. I just saw it and was like, man, that's got to suck. Feel bad for Mike. But, yeah, hot seat.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, Boston College looked great. Oregon, looked not very good at home against an FCS program in Idaho. Like, 24-14. Maybe the Oregon's not as good as we thought. There's a lot of stuff you learn. The other, I'd say, interest-piquing performances were Michigan grinding it out against Fresno State. That didn't look great.
Well,
they
did
Michigan.
Win by 20. They didn't cover, but
they did, but they won by 20 the same way Michigan State won by 6. They got the pick 6 at the end, but it was the same type of game.
Sure.
And then Maryland, 50-7 against UConn, and we don't know what UConn is. But like this week, when you look at the who everybody plays, I mean, Iowa's got Iowa State. Colorado, Nebraska, you've got a number of games. Illinois got Kansas, Michigan, Texas. Like, we will learn so much about all these teams, and we'll have a better sense for Michigan State's schedule and frankly MSU after they
So what you're saying is we shouldn't gamble on anything until like week 3.
Oh, we're going to gamble. We're going to bet
yeah.
on it. We're going to pick the games here in a little bit. And
but the advice would be like, just get a feel of what the season is before you start throwing bets down.
I would not throw your entire bankroll at a given game.
It's smart, yeah.
I've got to make mine back after some rough tennis bets. I've learned this week. Well, I'll save this for Harry because there's some tennis lessons that I wonder if he could.
Didn't have money on Typho?
I did. Unfortunately, I had the games line. What that means is I had him plus 3 games for the whole match. But once a guy defaults, you don't, even if they win, you don't get the money. It's a negated bet. Wow. It sucks. So when the guy defaulted because he was injured late, it
sounds like a complicated bet though.
It was somewhat complicated. So to give people a little bit of the inside the like if you're listening to this show as a podcast, just to give people a sense, like, and you're like, how did that show start so clunky? I'm going to explain to you how this happens here. This is the downside of being a live podcast, I would always say. Like, if we were a normal podcast, we would have just started that shit over, and you never would.
Well, you're the one that wants to go live. I don't know.
Do I want to go live? I don't know. I want to go live. I think
maybe not after this show.
I don't know. There are a few people who want to go live. Yeah. But, yeah, it was racing here. MSU football never finishes it, starts interviews on time. So racing here. And we were trying to get things going, and I apparently gave Jason the wrong number for Ed Lee.
Because normally Graham is on time, and everything runs smoothly because he's on time. But this instance right here, this is the first time Graham was late. So
I've never wanted a...
So unfortunately, I guess it was my fault that I heard the wrong number. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I've never wanted an edible from Pure Options as much as I did, right? When, like, you couldn't get a hold of Ed, and I'm like just spewing out stuff. Anyway, that's always going to make this show different. We do it live for a small portion of our audience, and but a hearty portion of our audience that appreciates it, and that's also why we
for these moments, I guess,
fix it and post. Yeah. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to pick the games this week. Good slate: the NFL, the Lions, Michigan State, Maryland, all of it. Michigan, Texas, with Harry Gagnon, Couch in the Rube. Presented, of course, by our friends at Pure Options, Precision Crafted Cannabis, and our Wednesday afternoon show presented by Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar.
Hey, sports fans, are you tired of the same old routine? Looking for a way to unwind after a long day? Look no further than Pure Options, the premier destination for all of your cannabis needs in Lansing, Detroit, Muskegon, and Mount Pleasant. Whether you're cheering for the Lions, Spartans, or the Wolverines, Pure Options has everything you need to elevate your game day experience. Mention Couch the Rube when you visit Pure Options and get a Pro Grow 8th with a $50 purchase. It's our way of saying thank you for being a loyal listener. Swing by Pure Options today and elevate your cannabis experience to a whole new level. Firekeeper's online casino and sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team? Enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi. Sip on handcrafted cocktails or one of 46 beers on tap. Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with 1 awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube presented by Pure Options, Precision Crafted Cannabis, and our Wednesday show brought to you by Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. It is time to bet the games presented by Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook with the great Harry Gagnon from the
restore the roar.
From the Ringer and Against All Odds with cousin Sal. He'll be on FanDuel TV with Sal this Friday as well. Harry, how you doing, brother?
Good. Everything's great, guys. How are you guys doing? You guys all right?
Yeah. Things are.
I'm ready for the Lion season, Harry.
Yeah, you cut that a little short there. I noticed.
What I cut short?
No full Lion
I got
King there.
Iguna Yaba Gita Jared Goff. Go Lions. Restore the roar.
Let's
There
go.
we go.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Let's go.
Harry, you are also doing something this week with BetOnline.com. What is that about?
Yeah, now I'm going to be, I'm going to be doing, my own type of crafty, witty, kind of funny, hopefully funny videos for BetOnline throughout the football season. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you checked it out, but not only can you bet sports there, but they have everything. I mean, it's crazy what they offer there. They've got odds on politics all over the place, entertainment, TV shows, The White Lotus, American Idol. So I'll be doing like a different video every week. I got the first one coming up. Just give you the first one's a little political. Then in 2 weeks, we've got the Emmys going on. So I'm going to do a couple bets on a video for the Emmys as well, which you can bet on BetOnline. So again, BetOnline, they offer everything under the sun. So it's just not sports; they got everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
I can't wait to read the comments of your political videos.
Yeah.
Those will be fun.
Well, I'll give you a little taste of like you can actually bet on BetOnline if Trump and Harris on the 10th of September when they have their first debate, whether or not they will shake hands.
Oh, that's good. That's sort of like the Super Bowl props with the length of the national anthem and everything. Oh, I love that.
Might be in on that, yeah.
No, that's fun. Yeah, no, my worst ever political prop bet with an offshore book was I know what I did. I hedged on my stimulus check based on betting the Republicans to win. So if they won, I wasn't going to get it. If the Democrats did, I did. And I hedged my own check, which is just the dumbest thing you can ever do. I did my head. It made sense.
The ultimate hedge.
Yeah, it was a great hedge or whatever. It was like, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, it was. Anyway, that's there. So that's my history. All right. Well, excited to get to some NFL games. I need to get away from betting tennis. I've learned I do not have the discipline to bet live tennis because there are too many ebbs and flows. I'm like, oh, this guy's cooked. He's lost it. And then all of a sudden he wins 3 straight games. I'm like, fuck, I just hedged that. And then I got to hedge the other way. And by the end of the match, I've bet 74 times and I've won 30 of them, and I've somehow lost most of them. So anyway, I need to get out of the tennis game. Let's start with the college games. Texas -7 at Michigan. This is a crazy. I mean, I guess is it 7 or 7.5 now? I think it's still 7.5. We'll go 7.5 at Michigan. It's a big number at the hook on the road. I'm not scared of it based on what I saw from Michigan. I think Texas is going to have too much. I don't think Michigan's offense is going to be able to keep pace. And I could absolutely be wrong on this, but I am taking Texas here because I am a little concerned that Michigan's defense is not dominant enough to keep their offense in the game. I think Texas wins this game by about 10 points or so. Give me Texas. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, I know sharp money is on Texas, but I just at the big house, I think Michigan can run the ball on Texas. 7 and a hook. It just seems like a lot of points, Harry. Give me Michigan in the 7.5. What do you got?
I'm with Graham here with Texas. I mean, Fresno hung last week. That game was a lot closer than what the final score said. Michigan's D, I think, will allow them to hang, especially in the first half here. But I think it's just too much offense, too strong for Texas. I'm going to lay it.
I mean, I don't know. Michigan, I mean, again, we learn a lot more in week 2 than we know in week 1, but Michigan concerned the heck out of me in week 1. I think it, relative to their standards, I think they're going to struggle. I think they'll win a lot of games against the third tier of the Big Ten, but are you confident in Texas? See, that's where it's a fade for me.
Well, I know you. I mean, you guys know, like I've definitely never been a Sarkisian fan, but boy, I mean, I'm not even banking. I'm not even going off last week really, where they won 52-0, but Colorado State couldn't get anything going. That was very impressive. The Texas actually pitched a shutout. And just again, I just don't see the offense there for Michigan if and when they get into the red zone around the 30 of Texas, maybe field goals, not touchdowns. And I'm not going to say it's like a Clemson Georgia last week where it was a blowout in the second half. But I can see where Michigan can hang like Clemson did against Georgia for the first half, and in the second half, just Texas turns it on.
By the way, did you see that? Was it Portnoy had a video where he was like talking about how Michigan's not scared of anybody. This is why you play college. It's he hadn't seen the schedule the last 3 years when they played 14 home games and all of them were Division III opponents.
That's his bit, right? He's a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
and not to mention, Graham, that over those years, Harbaugh had scheduled the most gimme of gimmies in the beginning of the season against nobody.
It was like Alma, Hope, Hillsdale. I mean, it was they weren't even Division I opponents. It almost. All right, second game, good game. Iowa State plus 2.5 at Iowa. Now, I am all in on Iowa this year, and to me, inside of a field goal, I really like Iowa here. This is one of my favorite bets of the week. I think Iowa's It took them a minute to get rolling against Illinois State last week, and Illinois State's, again, FCS opponent. Can't judge it entirely. I like Iowa. Anything inside of 3. Give me the Hawkeyes. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, in Cade, we trust. Iowa has an offense now. That's what happens when you fire your kid. Give me Iowa. I kind of like this game a lot, Harry. Give me Iowa. What do you got?
I'm with you. Iowa's offense was pretty good last week, right? And defense was great. It usually is. Hard to go against the Hawkeyes here, so I'm going to take them with you. All
right. The game of the week in college football, Michigan State plus 8.5 at Maryland. This is and the line has moved up and down. It was at 7.5. I saw it 10 some places even. Anyway, but 8.5 for our purposes, what we're going with. You do some line shopping because I think there are some books around where you can get better lines for you depending on which way you're taking the game. Michigan State plus 8.5 at Maryland. I just don't trust MSU to keep pace with Maryland early on. This feels like a 10-point game to me. That's what it feels like. It feels like 23-13, 27-17, some there, and that sort of game. I think 23-13 is what I'm going to pick for the paper. 24-14. You get the point. I'm just naming 10-point margins at this point. But it feels like there is enough juice, even if Michigan State's good defensively, from Maryland offensively to break a couple to, and I just don't, until I see it from Michigan State's offense, I'm worried that's going to be a slog for them. So, again, give me Maryland here. I don't love it. It's not a game I would advise people to play, but give me Maryland with minus 8.5. Jason?
Yeah, I agree with you on the 10-point game thing. There's some things I saw, Harry, against FAU that made me kind of hopeful about MSU, but it's a fade because I think this is a game where we see what MSU is going to be about for the rest of the season. So give me the MSU in the 8.5, but I don't love it. What do you got?
Yeah, you guys were right last week. You guys were right with the spread last week in Michigan State's game. I wasn't. I laid the points. Boy, nothing in the second half. Nothing out of the Spartan second half, but I don't know. Maybe they're just not that great ever as a favorite, especially double digits like that. I'm going to roll with them again, though, here. I'm going to go the other way. Them getting more than a touchdown here. I think maybe they're a little bit better taking them as a dog than definitely as a double-digit favorite. I'm going to try the Spartans again. I'm going to take the 8.5.
All right, our last college game, and this is another of my favorites, is Iowa and Nebraska. Maybe it's the corn. Maybe it's the area of the country or whatever it might be. Maybe it's just
the hatred of Deion in Colorado.
Well, there's a part of me that doesn't mind seeing them not do great, but I am also sort of excited about what I saw from Raiola, the freshman quarterback at Nebraska last week. I'm excited about what I think about Matt Rule as a coach and his year 2 there. I don't know. To me, I'm kind of curious about Nebraska. They were one of our favorite over-unders at 7.5 for the season. And this is a rivalry game that they care about. They really screwed it up last year at Colorado when I think they were the better team. And so to me, Nebraska here is one of my absolute favorite plays at -7. I mean, if obviously Colorado's had some magic in certain games, but at Nebraska, -7, I think they're the better team. Give me Nebraska. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Matt Rule knows how big of a game this is for his program going forward. Nebraska fans know it. Memorial Stadium, 85,000. and a touchdown. I'd like to get it at 6.5, but give me 7. I'm giving the 7. What do you got, Harry?
I'm all over it. I'm all over Nebraska this week. And guys, let me tell you, as you guys know, the second against all odds with Cousin Sal for the week, we always at the end of the show give out. We have a little segment called Shark Tank where me, Brother Brian, Parlay Kid give out our best bet and for the weekend. And Sal picks one of them. And Sal happened to pick my golf pick last week, which it won. I've hit 5 in a row, guys. I've hit 5 in a row. And Graham, I know you love teasers. I know we got a lot still to cover here, but we got to go with this. I'm going to go for 6 in a row, and I'm doing a 7-point teaser in college football for my pick for Shark Tank. First, just real quick, I'm going to take the Texas Tech Washington State game to go over 58.5. Both teams' games last week went over 100. Texas Tech's defense is disgusting. They allowed Abilene Christian's quarterback to have 5 touchdowns and have over 500 yards. And by the way, Washington State's defense not so great either. They put up 70, but they gave up 30, and they gave up 450 yards to Portland State. So I'm going to go over 58.5 there. But Nebraska -0.5 versus Colorado is my lock. I love that. I love. And you're exactly right, Graham. Last year, Colorado didn't win that game. Nebraska lost that game. They had that game, and they blew it. Matt Rule's got a different attitude, different team here. And I just wasn't impressed with Colorado. I wasn't impressed with what they did late in the game. Terrible game management by Deion. I think he's a terrible X and O's guy. And it's payback time. I love Nebraska.
Should we be scared that we all love Nebraska?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. We should all.
Maybe, but let's hope not.
No, I'm all in either way. Plus, the soccer is on this dumbass international break 3 weeks into the season, so I've got to bet a lot of football this weekend. It's ass. I don't know who came up with it. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants to get all fired up 3 weeks into the Premier League and let's take 2 weeks off.
What is that? Graham, I've hit 5. I'm either doing under. I'm telling you, Graham, this is gold. I'm going over 1.5 or under 4.5 in these games. Putting 4 together pays about even money. I've hit 5 in a row.
You're talking about the soccer games, the Premier League games? Yeah. No, that's the adjusted lines. Yeah, there's some real good juice if you can pick the right game. Yeah. No, that's I'm missing it this weekend. I don't even know what. I'm not happy.
There's a bunch of like countries playing each other in international friendlies, and there's a bunch of qualifying for some cup. I don't know. It's a lot of. I don't know. You never know who's playing. I'm taking a week off from soccer.
Yeah, it's the Nations League bullshit. And and look, if there's a good line out there, I'll take it, and I'll bet Azerbaijan against whoever in Ireland, or whatever. But I
did Jason's ears just perk up?
What? Yeah. He's
what
all
happened?
in. One of my best bets, Copa America. I bet Panama to beat the U.S. and plus 800, and it was terrific. I'm still happy. Still happy about that. Go Panama. I hate international soccer. Back to the club season, please. All right, to the NFL. The NFL season is here. It's exciting. We're going to do 5 games here, and then Harry's got a couple other plays as well. The Ravens. So we'll start in order. Thursday night, the opener. Ravens +3 at the Chiefs. Really good game to get us going here. I wouldn't bet this game in a million years. A 3-point. This line feels 100% right, and would be a very competitive game. But if I had to pick it, I would actually pick the Ravens. I think they will be out to prove that, especially early on, that they're not going to have a hangover. I think pound for pound, they're probably as talented as the Chiefs. So give me them getting some points on the road slightly for our purposes here.
Well, and that's what you do in these games that you don't really know about, and you still want to gamble on it. You see where the big money's going, you go the opposite and take the points. So give me the Ravens +3. What do you got, Harry?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens with the 3-2. Obviously we all know that Kansas City lost that opener last year on Thursday versus the Lions, but lost Baltimore lost when they had Kansas City in their house in the AFC Championship game where they just laid an egg. I think this is revenge time for Baltimore. Kansas City still going to have a pretty good season, but I think here I'm even going to go money line Baltimore. They get revenge. They want it more. Kansas City will still be fine.
All right, Packers +2.5 versus the Eagles in Brazil. Now, listening to your boy Sal with Bill Simmons, and they have rules about like not betting games in London and Brazil seems even worse. I don't like that. I don't like that. What's a really good game is being spent in Brazil. I do like that it's Friday night, which is kind of fun. So, although it's going to be opposite the Fritz Tiafoe U.S. Open match, so I don't know if anybody will actually see this game. But that's tennis.
Most people have 2 TVs.
Oh,
so.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be great.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
Very fun.
Packers plus 2.5 versus Eagles, neutral field. I love the Packers this year. I don't hate the Eagles either, but I love the Packers this year. So plus 2.5 on a neutral field. Give me the Packers. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, fuck the Packers. And fuck games in Brazil, by the way. You know, Bill and Sal are right, though. Why are we doing this game? Like, players are scared. Like, their families telling them not to go to this game because of Brazil and their laws and all weird shit. Just stay away from this game. This is 1-800-GAMBLER game. But give me the Eagles, money line. What do you got here?
Isn't, by the way, some rule I read somewhere that because of some reason, I don't even remember what it was, but both teams are green can't wear green. Is that correct? Did you guys hear that?
Oh, I didn't know that. Jeez.
I heard something like that.
It's a Brazilian rule?
Is that a law?
The Eagles might be wearing black, and the Packers might be going white on white just because, for some reason, I don't know. Anyways, I heard that. I don't know, but I am going to lean a little here towards Philly. I know Philly was terrible the last third of the season. Bounce back situations, them national TV, get a little more respect here, have a little bit more offense in Green Bay. And again, I've stressed this over and over. It's going to be very interesting, very fun to see, even though I'm an Eagles fan. It's going to be interesting because I am a Giants fan to see Saquon Barkley being able to run with a real offensive line.
The Titans plus 4, back on American soil, Titans plus 4 at the Bears. And the reason this game is on here is Caleb Williams' debut, big season for the Bears. And also, I think a big game for the Bears. Like, if the Bears are going to be everything they want to be, the Titans are not going to be good this year. They got to get this done, and yet the record of rookie quarterbacks and first starts and number 1 picks and first starts is not good. I do think in Chicago the Bears will find a way to get this done. I like the Bears even with the 4 points. Maybe a little too much here. I think people have written off the Titans entirely. I'm on the Bears. Not heavy, but we'll definitely be betting it. Jason, where are you?
I don't understand all this Chicago Bears love. I get Caleb Williams is a great quarterback, but they still have Eberflus. We forgot Eberflus and his coaching style. I know Harry hates Andy Reid, but loves Eberflus. What's going on here? Anyway, Titans, I love them. Give me 4.
Wow.
What do you got, Harry?
Jay. Wow, Jay. All right. Well,
Bears. Listen, the Bears thing. It just seems like they're overrated. Everybody's saying they're going to be great. Coach of the year, Eberflus. I mean, come on.
I do like the Bears. I do like the Bears not to make the playoffs. You can get it like minus 130. I think that's not a bad bet. It's not bad.
You know what? At the beginning of like June, I was like, I don't like this Bears team, the jinx and all that, whatever. I flipped the switch, guys. I'm all in on this Bears team, I think. On paper, I think this offense looks not just great, but by far the best offense the Bears have ever had in their history. You get Swift, his third team in 4 years, but still can get a ton done. The Bears never pay anybody. They paid more, $110 million. Odunze made some unbelievable catches in the preseason. Obviously, Williams and Cole Kmet is going to help out, too. He had a nice second half of the season. I don't know. I'm all in on this Bears team. I don't like this Tennessee team that much. No Henry anymore. I'm taking the Bears.
And let's right now, you have some, like, season bets you like involved. Like, you like the Lions over 10.5, but the Bears to win the division, right? That's one of the bets you like.
I do, and you guys know we're all over the Lions last year, and I'm all over the Lions this year, and I like them over 10.5. I think the Bears get to 11. I think the Lions get to 11, and I think the Bears win in a tiebreak and win the division. Look, again, I loved this team last year. I do again this year. Jared Goff is a plus 40 touchdown to pick ratio over the past 2 seasons. Montgomery and Gibbs, probably the most dangerous 1-2 combo in the backfield in the NFL. 2,000 yards and 23 touchdowns combined by those 2 guys last year. Got some nice additions on defense. Got Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay. Emmanuel Mosley, he's been on the team, but just missed all last season. He came over from San Francisco. He's going to be ready, and I think Aiden Hutchinson can be Defensive Player of the Year. I love Detroit, but I know Jay just made a little fun of Eberflus, but listen, I'm against all odds last week, guys. I gave Eberflus 10-1 to be Coach of the Year. I mean, hear me out real quick, guys. Eberflus and the Bears, I'm telling you, they're going to shock the world. They were 2-7 after 9 games, and Eberflus was left for dead Everybody had him packing his bags. But then all of a sudden things changed. The defense turned it around, gave up 20 points or less in 7 of the last 8 games. And I mentioned all those players here. I don't know. I'm just saying, and then in the secondary, Jalen Johnson. I think he had 4 picks last year. I think he breaks that. T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds control the middle for that defense for the Bears. I don't know, guys. I'm in on the Bears. I don't know. Maybe I'm dead wrong, but Lions still have a great season and win 11, but the Bears do too.
Jason is
Lions, restore the roar.
Jason would rather watch soccer than root for or deal with a decent Bears team right now.
Unbelievable. So the Lions win 11, but you think the Bears win the division still? That's I
love this division. I think 3 teams could definitely make the playoffs in the NFC. 3 teams from this division.
It's ballsy.
Yeah. No,
Eberflus wins Coach of the Year if he does that. So, yeah.
And it's too bad. And by the way, it's too bad what happened to McCarthy because I was kind of high on the Vikings, too.
It's problematic for the Lions, I will say. If, the Bears get really good in part because Caleb Williams becomes a star and Jordan Love becomes a star, and the other 2 teams have star quarterbacks and the Lions have a good quarterback, then the Lions really got to take advantage of this window. So, all right, let's get to the Lions. Rams plus 3.5 at Lions. It's interesting here that it's only 3.5. I think people are the Rams, I think, are going to be a good team, and they pushed the Lions in that playoff game. I think the Lions are pretty healthy. I think they should win this game. I think it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere at Ford Field. The Rams make me a little nervous here, but I'm on the Lions minus 3.5. Would love it to go down to -3. Feel just a little bit better about it. But I just think this is going to be one of those, has a chance to be a real feel-good start for the Lions. They're great vibes, pretty healthy, a lot of weapons. And it's one of those games, if you do lose it's not the end of the world because the Rams are going to probably be a playoff team, a really good team, but it will definitely be a vibe shift. Jason, where are you?
If the Rams had any other coach than Sean McVay, I would agree with you. Now, I think the Lions win this game, but that 3.5, it's that hook. They're better than they were, than the team that was in the playoffs last year that the Lions beat. And they played in that crazy crowd and with Stafford. Give me the Rams plus 3.5. What do you got, Harry?
Wow.
Yeah, Jay, you stole my thunder there. Exactly my thoughts on that game, too. Rematch of last year. Now they come right back. Stafford back in Detroit again. Looks like a little bit of a small number, and I think that hook is going to come into play. I got Detroit winning the game, too, but I got them winning 27-24. Rams with 3.5 get the cover.
If the Lions lose this game, are we going to be able to do a Monday show, Jason?
Yeah. That's a fair question. Yes. Listen, it's a gambling show. I'm just giving out gambling advice. I think the Lions win the game. I just don't want to,
No, you don't. You
be
don't
a homer all year,
Absolutely, I'm with you.
But yes, we'll do a show.
All right, the final game, our final bet Monday night. This game might as well be in Brazil in terms of what I think of it. Jets plus 4.5 at the 49ers. I don't trust San Francisco in terms of their vibes. I don't trust the Jets entirely in terms of everything. But a game not played on the Jets' turf, with Aaron Rodgers making his return and the Jets defense that I do trust, if I have to take this game, I like the 4.5. I'm taking the Jets here. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, I'm with you. These games that you just don't know, they're a toss-up. How many plays is Aaron Rodgers going to play this game? More than 3, hopefully. Just give me the Jets plus 4.5. What do you got here?
I'm taking San Fran. Ayuk, good sign. That's good for them. Offense is solid. And then, you know what, straight up, again, I know we mentioned it a couple weeks back. Just the Jets being 9.5 and you got to lay 160 on the over blows my mind. It is the biggest ridiculousness over-under out of any team in the NFL to me to make them 9.5, considering they've won 10 games once in the last 10, 11 years. I just don't get it. They made the playoffs since 2010. I understand that it's Aaron Rodgers, but what did even Aaron Rodgers do in the last couple of years at Green Bay? Not that great. I'm rooting against him. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take San Fran.
I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way here.
Could go either way.
Go either way. Yeah. Harry, beautiful picks. Love having you back. This my soul is my cup runneth over, I should say.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, Graham, let's go a little tennis, little women's tennis. This is probably going to be the final. Sabalenka takes down Swiatek.
I love that. I totally agree. Sabalenka is incredible. You see where she offered?
Unbelievable last night. Unbelievable last night.
Did you see where she offered to buy? And I love anybody who's from Minsk. I think that's great. And do you see where she offered to buy the crowd, everybody, beers on her if they rooted for her in the next game against Emma Navarro? Next match,
that's kind of sad.
Good. Well, Emma Navarro is an American, so she was going to be playing an American in the U.S. Open, and they asked what they asked her.
It's going to be touchy. That's for sure.
I think she'll beat Navarro. I do. I mean, Navarro's solid, but Sabalenka's a different beast. Harry, good man. Good luck this week. We'll talk to you next week.
You too, guys. Take care.
Thanks, man.
That's the great Harry Gagnon from Against All Odds with Cousin Sal and the Ringer.
We're back. Football's back officially.
It feels like I am fired up for, like, even Thursday night I was trying to figure out, like, what do I walk on the treadmill to without soccer on this weekend? There's no Mexican soccer because of this fucking international break.
This guy's always on the treadmill. Can't get him off.
That's how you get this fat, right? You get on the treadmill. And anyway, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's an NFL game Thursday. Oh my God, this is.
So you're backing off the Thursday game though. I might do some touchdown bets or something like that.
I'm sure I'll bet it.
I know we sound so like sure, oh no, this is a fade, and then
you get fired up, and
Friday night happens, and you're like, oh,
you're there. Yeah, I would not advise people to bet the Michigan State game either way, unless you have a feel that I don't. 8.5 is just
like you said. I think this is a 10-point game.
That's my hunch.
8.5 is just. I think it's a sucker. Like they're just trying to reel you in with 8.5.
That's my hunch, but I have also seen Maryland teams that.
It's Loxley. I mean, right? Yeah. He starts off strong though at the beginning of most of his tenure.
The real question here with Michigan State too is you get a situation where you have a new coaching staff that knows they didn't perform well offensively, a team that they described Aiden Child's performance as the floor. Like, what can they do between week 1 and week 2? How much better can it look? Maybe it doesn't look better at all, and it's a problem. But you also sort of either want to give them the benefit of the doubt or wonder if there isn't a gear they find, or if they figure some stuff out, or they lower Child's heart rate and they just find a rhythm for him. And so you do wonder if they can get it going a little bit. And then the defense played fantastic. Now they play a team that has the forward pass. But again, you have a quarterback who hasn't been incredibly tested. Like I would, if you were to do anything, if you're a Michigan State fan, I would tell you to take the money line on MSU, where there's a lot of value, where what was it, like plus 3 something, you get a little
sprinkle,
little sprinkle on that, and have some fun, and not too much, but have some fun. We will be back on. I'll be in College Park, but back Sunday, and we will be back Monday to do. Oh, we got a Friday show too. What day is it?
I was about to say today's Wednesday.
Been way off. We got a Friday show. Groovy Donuts. Your Twitter questions should be fun. Yeah, fuck days. I thought I would get on a plane this afternoon. I have no idea what's going on. We appreciate all of you listening. We appreciate Ed Lee coming on. We appreciate Harry. We appreciate Pure Options. Again, go to pureoptions.com. Get your tickets for the block party this Saturday, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Frandor location. The promo code BOGO gets buy one, get one free for $20. And we appreciate our friends at Front 43 and Cask & Company. Awesome place to camp out, watch a lot of football this weekend. Enjoy the food, enjoy the beer. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.